Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on equations of the form x squared equals k. Okay. At the end of this, you should be able to say I can solve for a variable when that variable is squared. Okay, so if we have x squared equals k, then x is going to equal plus or minus the square root of k if our k value is positive. X will equal 0 if k equals 0. And then if k is less than 0, then there's no real solutions. That becomes the imaginary numbers because that's square root of a negative number. Okay, so taking a look at a couple examples here. Example 1, solve for x. 4x squared minus 2 equals 98. So all we're going to want to do is try to get, just isolate the x squared, right? So let's add 2 to both sides. Right, and we get 4x squared equals 100. We want to divide by 4 to get rid of that 4 there, and we get x squared equals 25. So then we square root both sides, and we get x equals plus or minus 5. Okay. Now the reason why it's plus or minus is because if you look back at the original, if we put 5 squared in there, 5 squared is 25 times 4 is 100. 100 minus 2 is 98. Okay, if we put negative 5 in there, negative 5 times negative 5 is still 25 times 4 is still 100 minus 2 still equals 98. So both of those answers, positive 5 or negative 5, would work. Okay, for B, let's subtract 1 from both sides. 3x squared equals 15. Going to divide both sides by not 5 but by 3. And we get x squared equals 5, and then we square root both sides, and we get x equals plus or minus the square root of 5. Okay, so if we put positive root 5 in here or negative root 5, this will be this equation here will be true. Okay, this one here, subtract 3 from both sides. We get 5x squared equals negative 7 and negative 3 is negative 10. Divide by 5, and we get x squared equals negative 2, so we square root both sides, and we get that x is the square root of 2, negative 2, which is not a real answer, so that means that there would be no real solutions. Okay? Okay, just have one other example for us. Let's take a quick comedy break first.
This intrigued me. I was reading about the walkie-talkie, and I read it was a military invention. That surprised me, because usually military stuff has strong names, you know, Apache helicopter, Tomahawk missile. Walkie-talkie? How did that slip through the system? Is a general talking to some guy? What do you have there, soldier? Well, it's a new communication device. It's untethered, which will enable the troops to speak effectively when they're in the field. What's it called? Walkie-talkie! Look, I'm walking and I'm talking. Now you walkie and talkie, General. I'm walkie and talkie. Are you walkie and talkie? I like it, soldier. What's this explosive device? The whammy kablammy.
All right. Let's look at our last example here. Example 2, solve for x. So same idea. Now, first thing we got to do here is we got to get rid of this square. So we got to square root both sides. And then this square and the square root will cancel each other out. So we're left with t minus 4. And then the square root of 49, we're going to want to put plus or minus 7 for that. Okay, and then last step is to add 4 to both sides. And then we get t equals 4 plus or minus 7. So that means t would equal 4 plus 7 is going to be 11, or 4 minus 7 is going to be negative 3. So either one of those should end up working out. And it will if you plug it in. 11 minus 4 is 7. 7 squared is 49. Okay, and then if we put negative 3 and negative 4 is negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 7 is also 49. Okay, same idea here with B. We got to square root both sides to get rid of this square here, and we get b plus 7 equals plus or minus root 3. Okay, and then we subtract 7 from both sides, and we get b equals negative 7 plus or minus root 3. Can't really simplify that at all, so we just leave it at that. Okay? All right, that's all there is for equations of the form x squared equals k. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.